What would I have to have a third degree? What would I have to know to have a third degree block here?
P wave regularity.
I'd have to have regular P waves
Yeah.
that are what?
Not married to the QRS.
That are not married to the QRSs, and the QRSs would have to be what? Regular. So I've got two separate rhythms going on. I've got atrial rhythms, and I have QRS rhythms. Good luck.
Thanks.
Does that make sense? So do I have consistent P waves all the way through that are uniform, clearly coming from the atria, and everything is set and they march out like they're supposed to? Do I have that? I'm looking right here, which is a lead 2. Is it a lead 2? Which is
Yeah.
a lead 2 that goes across the bottom. And my question for you is, do you see clear P waves that look all the same all the way across that have a P to P interval that is normal all the way through?
No.
No, I don't either. Right? That's enough for you to answer that question, but let's go on. Are my QRSs and P waves independent of each other?
No.
No, they're not independent of each other, right? Because what's my ratio of P waves to QRSs? 1 to 1. And my P to P interval compared to my R to R interval is the same. My P to P interval matches my R to R interval for that P to P interval all the way across. Yes? So do I have a third degree heart block?
No.
So I don't have a right bundle branch block, I don't have a left bundle branch block, and I don't have a third degree heart block. So what do I have?
Neither.
Neither.
A right bundle branch block or a left bundle branch block. Does that make sense? Don't be confused because it looks like a mess. Your patients sometimes look like a mess. So, what was that?
So that's
Janae, was that 63 that you want to do next?
63.
So what
Okay,
is it?
so do I have, I didn't mean to take that off, I'll leave it right there. Do I have an underlying idioventricular rhythm?
No.
Why don't I have an idioventricular rhythm? Because why? There are P waves that what?
Are married to the QRS.
That are causing the QRSs. So therefore, what kind of rhythm do I have?
Supraventricular.
So I have a supraventricular rhythm. So is it possible for me to have an accelerated idioventricular rhythm?
No.
No, because this is what kind of a rhythm?
Supraventricular.
So therefore, can I have an idioventricular rhythm?
No.
No.
Because I have what?
Supraventricular. P
Is
wave
that what?
P waves married to
Is that what?
that are married.
That cause the QRSs.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all understand, I can't have P waves that cause QRSs in an idioventricular rhythm. That's the whole point of an idioventricular. Okay, so one's gone. A sinus rhythm with multifocal PVCs. A sinus rhythm with multifocal. So the easiest one to look at would probably be lead 2 for the moment. So let's just do it this way. QRS, 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 QRS. Those QRSs all do what? Pretty much.
The same thing.
They all pretty much look the same, right? So therefore, are there any PVCs at all? No, and
A few.
furthermore, let's just go a step further. Is there any QRS complex here that doesn't have a P wave? P wave QRS. 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 Is it possible for me to have a PVC?
No.
So it doesn't even matter whether or not this is a sinus rhythm or not because we don't have what?
PVCs.
We don't have any PVCs in it. Every single QRS complex has a P wave that it's married to. Does that make sense? So we can rule out accelerated idioventricular rhythm because this is a supraventricular rhythm. We can rule out a sinus rhythm with multifocal PVCs because there
Are no PVCs.
are no PVCs. So the next one is atrial fibrillation. Oops.
Oops, there's the.
Sorry, right there, atrial fibrillation. I didn't mean to move it. Is this atrial fibrillation?
No.
No,
Because why?
This is not irregular and irregular.
Because, well,
QRS is regular.
why else is it not AFib immediately?
Because you have a
What?
P wave.
Because we have P waves.
P waves.
And in AFib you don't have P waves, right? You have fibrillation waves. So you don't have P waves.
Yeah, but extra bumps.
Okay, so process of elimination in this particular case gets you to wandering atrial pacemaker, but we need to kind of make sure that that's the case, and in 1H pacemaker, we should have what?
Different morphology of the P waves.
Different morphologies of the P waves. What does this P wave look like compared to that P wave?
Different.
Different. What does this P wave look like compared to that P wave?
Different.
Very different.
Right? What about that compared to this one?
Different.
Compared to this one?
Different.
Compared to that one?
Different.
Same as the first one. Kinda.
So we have P waves that all look different in this rhythm. They look funky, they look weird, which is kind of the point. They're all different. So what rhythm do we have?
Wandering atrial pacemaker.
Wandering atrial pacemaker. Right? Take it one step at a time. Does that make sense? And did we all get 64?
Hypercleaning.
Hypercleaning.
Which one do we think it is?
Hypercleaning.
And what are the things that kind of make you think hyperkalemia?
The P waves.
You've got massive T waves. These T waves are tall, peaked, and what else?
Symmetrical.
Symmetrical. Okay, so that's a problem. And what's happening to this particular person?
They have IVCD.
They've got an intraventricular conduction delay. We know because, do they have some criteria of a right bundle branch block? Do they have some criteria of a left bundle branch block? And is it a wide QRS? But it's not either of those bundle branch blocks. It's some of them both, so they have an IVCD going on. The most common cause of an IVCD and peak T waves is hyperkalemia. In this particular patient, you'll find that probably within a matter of just a few minutes, they'll turn into a really, really wide, chaotic rhythm that'll eventually get into some sort of a sine wave right before they're dead.
So the IVCD has the same first two criteria as the right and left bundle branch blocks of the supraventricular rhythm and the wide QRS.
A generalized IVCD. You can have localized IVCDs that actually have a narrow QRS. We just haven't covered that.
Okay.
But yes,
What's the
an IVCD in this,
Idioventricular conduction.
from what you guys have, what we've talked about so far, is someone has criteria of both, but not all the criteria of either.
And it's not a ventricular rhythm, it's a
Because-
supraventricular rhythm.
Because we have P waves.
Correct.
That's right. If it were a wide QRS without P waves, and we don't have any delays at all, we have a ventricular rhythm.
And then that would be just idioventricular.
That's correct.
So can you not distinguish a STEMI with IVCD as well? Because
you
of
cannot,
because
you cannot usually determine a STEMI anytime you have delays on the left side of any sort.
since it's not
Because
quite
gonna
clear.
change that
Yeah.
repolarization,
Right.
so you can't actually tell.
Yeah.
Make sense?
What about 65?
65.
Yeah.
You all got 65 wrong.
I had a feeling. I was like, it doesn't matter what I
You
put.
all get 65, right? Give me a break. Any other questions on this exam?
What's your favorite music?
Yeah, 65.
You just missed that discussion. You would.
Did you love it?
What was your favorite piece of music?
What about 70?
17? Okay, you are assisting a patient who has fallen from a ladder. They're now complaining of a severe tearing pain in their chest, which is radiating to the back. What are you already thinking, potentially?
Aortic aneurysm.
An aorta and a what? What are you already thinking?
Aortic.
What are we thinking?
It's
I'll wait.
Which one?
Pericardial tamponade.
So we aren't really.
no.
Okay.
It's not. It's abdominal.
So let's start.
It's
Let's
not
start from the
abdominal.
beginning. What happened to this person?
They fell from the ladder.
They fell off a ladder. Okay, let's start there. That's a good place. So we're talking about someone who has experienced a trauma, right? they have tearing pain in their chest that's radiating to their back, that often is associated with what body part? Let's do that.
Aorta.
The aorta, fantastic, we're good. Trauma, aorta. What has happened to the aorta?
Possible tear.
A possible tear, which is called what?
Dissection.
Aneurysm.
A dissection.
Oh, dissection.
What's it called?
Dissection.
A dissecting aorta. What's a AAA?
Yeah, abdominal aorta.
What's an aneurysm?
A bursting.
Weakening of the wall of the
A weakening
aorta.
of the wall, that's a medical condition. It's a
Yeah.
chronic condition. You don't get an aneurysm from a trauma,
Got it.
right? An aneurysm is a wall, an area of a blood vessel that where its wall has worn away. It's gotten weaker and started to bulge, right? You don't get a weakening of a wall from trauma. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're right that it's the aorta, but you're confusing the
Terminology.
what it is, right? You're not gonna have a AAA from a trauma. You have a AAA because they've got a problem with the wall of the aorta, right? Okay, so what are we thinking already?
Dissected aortic aneurysm.
Dissected aortic.
A
A
dissecting
dissected
aorta.
aorta.
Good.
Yeah.
The aneurysm, yes.
Are we thinking aneurysm at all?
No.
No.
No. We are not thinking aneurysm at all because we have no freaking clue what their medical history is, so we don't even care, right? We're not thinking abdominal aneurysm at all, right? Aortic aneurysm at all. Okay, good. Let's see. What number was it?
17.
17.
And you have a harsh systolic murmur. Does that just add to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all of that lets us know that we're probably thinking a dissecting aorta, right? So which of the following findings would you also expect to be present? If they had a dissecting aorta, would we expect them to have unequal lung sounds?
No.
Not unless they also had lung problems, right? Because
Correct.
what does a dissecting aorta have to do with lung sounds?
Nothing.
Would we expect to have distended jugular veins?
No.
Is there pressure on the heart causing a backup of blood?
No.
No, blood's leaving the heart just fine.
Maybe
That's not where the
flat.
problem is.
Flat pains.
The
Maybe.
problem isn't where the blood is going, right? The problem is what's happening after it's gone. A rapid, irregular heart rate. Would we expect a rapid, irregular heart rate?
Maybe rapid, but not irregular.
Maybe rapid, but who knows about the irregularity of it? We don't necessarily think that there would be an irregularity to it because of the heart, because is there a problem with the heart?
No.
Not yet.
The problem is after the heart. So we don't really expect the heart to have a difference. We would expect it to start increasing speed, right? And maybe it'll start to become irregular down the road when it's no longer getting its cardiac output, but this person just fell, right? So it's not something that we would just go, oh, clearly with these signs and symptoms, we're expecting irregularity. Do we expect irregularity automatically with these things?
No.
No. But what's happening to blood flow?
Decrease.
It's losing blood flow. It's not going where it's supposed to be going.
Past
Yep.
that, past the heart.
And so what happens to, talk to me about the anatomy of blood flow as it leaves the heart and goes into the aorta.
Well, it goes there. Then
It
goes.
goes up into the carotid arteries, and then further down it branches off and goes into upper extremities, and further down it branches off and goes into thoracic and abdominal cavities, and then down to the legs. That's what it also branches as it goes.
Yeah, so in the aorta, you have the blood that's gonna go to one extremity and the blood that's gonna go to the other extremity. And we have a dissection someplace. Blood flow may still be getting to one extremity and not the other,
Depending on what the dissection is.
right? So we would expect in a dissecting aorta that when we feel and compare their circulation, motion, and sensation, circulation will be different in those two. It'll be weaker on one side than it is on the other. Because one side is still getting plenty of blood flow, the other side is not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have aortic problems, you expect differences in pulses on the two sides. Good.
Sweet.
Any others on any of those? Everybody okay? Fantastic. Get up and stretch just for a moment.
Thank you.
Go to the bathroom if you need to.
I noticed.
Where's your Dr. Pepper? Do I have to make another one?
No.